Hello, this is me, Tim from Tim and Jordan on Wrestling, back again with another video. This time we are doing WCPW Loaded for the 10th of September 2016 edition of WCPW. And this is a pretty good episode, so let's start it off from the beginning. Joe Hendry is frustrated as he is annoyed and angry at Connor's double crossing him earlier on. Obviously remember last week where Connors won the title by taking out Hendry with the chair and basically just betraying the trust they had as a tag team. Joseph Connors comes out with his title, arriving to a chorus of boos. He basically addresses why he did this. He says that Hendry was his ultimate enemy, and as you know the saying, keep your friends close but keep your enemies closer, and that is, well, what Connors apparently did earlier on. He says that he isn't a fool anymore and that he is ready to take himself seriously. So, of course, Connor's moving into the future is this ultimate heel badass. No question about it. He's a heel, and obviously he hates all the fans. And yeah, his reasoning is a bit patchy at points because, as you know, he could have left at any point. But the reason he was with Hendry is because he somehow thought it would be a good idea. And obviously, he's never really getting the attention he deserved, and you should take a joke, but no, he decided to do this. I guess it was the cleverest thing for him. Sort of reminds me of what Seth Rollins did to step out of the limelight of the Shield. He's done the same thing. How will it pan out? Well, Connors is going to be, in the future, he's going to be taking on in this show he'll be taking on El Ligero, but again, how long does the title last run? It could be an interim title run where maybe a bigger champion takes it on. But I'm happy he took the title because he's a very deserved wrestler, and he's really going to work it. So again, Joe Hendry feud impending possibly, but not so soon though, as we will find out tonight. El Ligero arrives as his predetermined opponent. One thing I don't like about WCPW is the way they always announce the opponents, because sometimes it works, such as building up a big event like this, or big events like for pay-per-views, like where you want to build up a match. But for this one, they really didn't need to announce it. El Ligero competing against Joseph Connors. They could have just suggested Connors' opponent and have a little bit of surprise to it, and they acted like it was a surprise, but it wasn't actually, because of course it was announced on the YouTube channel that El Ligero will be taking on Joseph Connors, so to no avail really. So in the match, we got a Connors back with a chair. El Ligero takes out before the match starts. So before we get in the ring, El Ligero and Connors go at it. We see El Ligero with a belt shot after reversing Connors' attempt. Connors attacks the referee in the heelish manner, knocking him out, tries for the belt. El Ligero gets the belt, hits him with it, hits a big frog splash, close fall. Connors wins with a rightish kill. Don't correct me on that finisher. Pretty cool finisher, and he wins the match. Moving on, Britt Amin backstage says he will be the victor of the Rumble, but is informed by the announcer, who for some reason the interviewers always know best, says that he isn't even in it, but Gabriel Kidd is, so kind of gets a bit jealous there. In our next segment, James R. Kennedy from Prospect arrives to tell them not to mess with him. He addresses obviously the suspension of his fellow Prospect members, so comes up with a solution, he says Los Prospectivos will replace and will arrive, and they come out. He says here are the replacements. It's Los Prospectivos are obviously just Mexican arrivals. They look nothing like Prospect at all. Their name is not at all similar. They're definitely not Prospect. Los Prospectivos, as they're called, take on Prince Amin and Gabriel Kidd in matchup. Big double team maneuvers by Amin, and James R. Kennedy tells Amin during the match that he should screw over Kidd. He does this because, to show a sign of dominance or whatever, or some bullshit. But you know what? Stupid old Prince Amin goes along with it anyways. Obviously, the manipulative James R. Kennedy is in control here. He tells Kidd to lay down for the opponent. And at this moment, we see Gabriel Kidd give the middle finger to Prince Amin. Prince Amin says that he will get fired because he has no right to object to being fired if he does not get pinned. So in that way, the Los Prospectivos win by amazing finger of doom, finger poke of doom. Get my wrestling history right here, and they win. Of course, this will lead on. Prospect, of course, they're still suspended, but I don't know. They'll definitely be back at least for the Refuse to Lose pay-per-view. And we all know when Prospect arrive, they arrive in force. So it's going to be a big invasion. Of course, they like invading on people's privacy. So, hey, they could be intertwined with that main event, possibly. And we all know that they'll come back stronger and they'll come back better than ever. I don't know what this means for the likelihood of Prince of Mean or Gable Kidd. But again, who cares? Who cares? They're stupid. Well, Prince of Mean is stupid. I think James R. Kennedy will come out the next time and say, Prince of Mean, go away. you mean nothing to me. In our main event of the night, our third match, yes, you're wondering why is this only the third match of the main event? It's because it is the Kurt Angle Invitational Battle Royale. And it's not a Battle Royale, it's more like a Royal Rumble, actually. So I don't know why I said that. Invitational Rumble. So, Adam Shee Parmesan, or whatever you call him, arrives to the ring to introduce the Royal Rumble. He also obviously tells us the rules of the Rumble, saying that there are 3 ways to disqualify an opponent, and also every 2 minutes a opponent will arrive in the ring. So it's basically the rules of Rumble where you can go over the top, but also the added submission and pin factors, which in my opinion are a very good addition, because it means that there's more diversity in the match. It's not like every wrestler is just always going to try and get their other wrestler out. It's not just constantly people just at the corners like in WWE trying to push one another out. It's more dynamic than that, and it means there'll be more like finishers and all this, and also pin attempts, which are exciting. So yeah, I prefer this over the actual Royal Rumble, to be honest. I mean, maybe execution isn't good, but again, a better like rules in place, and I like it. So we get to the match, and our first man coming out, it's Martin Kirby, to the disappointment of Adam Pacitti, and he starts against El Ligero. El Ligero tries to get Kirby over the top rope with a hit and low blow. Oh, sorry. El Ligero goes over the top, but Kirby hits a low blow on Kidd. And number 3 to come out is Travis Banks. Kirby hits a super kick with the eye poke, and Banks threw out a poke to Banks. And yeah, basically. Number 4 is Martin Scurll, the villain. Number 5, Drew Galloway. He starts this to, become dominant, hitting a belly-to-belly suplex. Kirby eliminates Banks, and Banks eliminates Kirby, which to the annoyance of the fans, that was kind of annoying. But again, they both kind of go at each other and give out, so they both get automatically eliminated. Amin is, coming in at number 6, and he replaces Gabriel Kidd in the match, obviously to his, bossiness, and takes his place. Number 7 is Joe Coffey. He is a wrestler, a mighty wrestler, and his name is Joe Coffey. Yes, he takes his place, and he does the swing, the Kingdom Swing on Amin. And I think he eliminates him as well. He hits the black coffee to eliminate Amin. That's what happens. Later on, Skull eliminates Drew Galloway to a very big pop. Of course, very surprising move here. I think he had a clothesline or just threw him out. But man, the big Galloway, who's towering over everybody, gets eliminated. Number 8, Pete Dunne. Big shoulders on Coffey on Dunne, and chops by Scurll on the others. Dunne eliminates Marty Scurll, and number 9 comes out, Doug Williams. I'm just going to run through these. Sorry about how annoying and boring these are, but we'll just move on. So at this moment in time, Doug Williams comes out, and as you notice, he brings a chair with him and a newspaper. He begins to lounge outside, sit on the chair, and read the newspaper like, I don't know, like no one's business, just being all casual. El Ligero's having none of this, so he comes out and threatens him with the newspaper, which is freaking hilarious, trying to hit him on the head with it, but they get into a bit of brawl outside. Meanwhile, in the ring, Coffey gets a 2 count. Number 10 comes out, it's Joe Hendry, the local hero, and a new entrance as well for Final Fantasy, I think. And he goes after Doug Williams. Uppercuts, clotheslines galore by Joe Hendry. Number 11 is Rampage Brown, who gets very dominant in the ring with clothesline suplexes, steamrolling through the opponents. In the ring, we see Doug Williams start to get dominant a little bit on Hendry, and also them fighting out, and also Rampage in the ring, just adding a bit to the mix. Number 12 is Moose. But before he can come out, Big Damo, who's obviously having a big rivalry with him, or supposed rivalry with him. They both kind of hate each other. No wonder. After last week in that big matchup. But what happens is they both, Big Damo and Prospect, come out. Even though Prospect are banned, we must know they're still disguised as Prospectivas to obviously evade the stupid rules of wrestling logic, and they both attack him and take him out, and he's basically discounted for the rest of the Rumble. So just discount him in your minds, guys. He doesn't even count to get in the Rumble. Technically he's won, but we'll just discount him, okay? Meanwhile, in the actual match, Damo attacks Rampage around the ring, and yeah, that continues on. And then suddenly Rampage gets eliminated. Rampage and Big Damo break on outside, and number 13 comes out, EC3. And EC3 to a huge freaking pop. Inside the ring, we see E33 run around. Then he goes after Hendry, and they both brawl a little bit. It's pretty cool. Number 14 comes out, and it's Liam Slater. And, of course, you know, he tries to go after Joe Hendry, but gets taken down. Enziguri, El Ligero, STO, neckbreaker by El Ligero. Very, very good move on EC3 and Joe Hendry. El Ligero eliminated, though. And finally, number 15 comes out, and it's big old Primate. Primate hyped throughout the entire match. Comes out, didn't think he was going to win this match. From the beginning, I thought it was going to be Moose, but again, when Moose was gone, I was like, probably Joe Hendry. Even though I did kind of have my number one pick as Moose, I was a Joe Hendry there. And that was my little factor in my mind. So I didn't really think Primate was in, but he did look very persuasive in this match, to be honest. And after the shock of the exit of Rampage, I was like, yeah, Primate could do a good job here. Getting some people over, but not necessarily win. So Primate eliminates Slater straight off the bat, and we see EC3 Black Coffee by obviously Joe Coffey, a spear by Primate, and Coffee eliminated. Follow-away slam by Hendry, though. Hendry getting back into it just like he did 2 weeks ago in that tag team match where he eliminated the other three men in a very good fashion, very over fashion, sort of similar to like an over wrestler like John Cena would, and hitting a big DDT on Primate before eliminating EC3. Eliminating Primate first off the bat, getting into the ring with EC3 1-on-1. This is our final two. Hendry with a big drop plus 5-knuckle shuffle by EC3. Spinebuster by EC3. Hendry, though, eliminates EC3 off the bat and wins the match. That ends our show. Hendry goes over. Hendry, very triumphant victory here. Again, it was pretty decent Kurt Angle Invitational Rumble. I think it was just long enough. I don't think it should have been longer. I think it was a good length, and it also had a lot of elements in it, like not just one story, but a few different overlapping stories, such as Prospect, the Amin storyline, and also Hendry and trying to, get back to where he wants to be, and also Big Damo out there as well. So it was very interesting, very dynamic, very, very good, enjoyable time to be had, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, very good show overall. I think the Invitational Rumble, if you just want to check that out on its own, go check that out, because obviously top quality. Yeah, the other stuff is kind of, you don't really need to see it, but to be honest, it's a pretty decent loaded episode, and I think it's a really good concept for a Rumble that should probably do like in the future, maybe next year, at this time of year, because it's just an exciting thing to do, and maybe it could become a yearly thing, because it's a pretty good concept already. So off the bat, we know Kurt Angle versus Joe Hendry. It's October 6th at Refuse to Lose. Going to be a very, very important event in our date on our calendar. As well as that, we know Joseph Connors will probably compete for the title as well, so you're going to have like pretty much a double main event there, which is going to be packed. Not stacked, but packed. Anyways, that was the episode. Again, very exciting episode. Lots of things to think about in the future. Again, in future loaded episodes, I'll be previewing that matchup and also just walking away through some of the other storylines. So that's it for me, guys. Make sure that you check this one out and enjoy yourself. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.